How to crochet a bag with motifs. You want to tie your yarn onto your crochet hook, and you start with a chain 5. Slip stitch into the 5th chain from your hook to form a ring, and then we're going to chain 8. The chain 8 count, the first 3 chains counts as a double crochet, and the next 5 count as a chain 5 space. We're going to yarn over our hook. We're working a double crochet into the chain 5 ring. So yarn over, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. Here, let me do that again so you can see it better. We're going to yarn over our hook, insert our hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We've now worked another double crochet in the ring, chain 5, and we're going to work a double crochet in the chain 5 ring again. Yarn over, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You want to do this for a total of 8 times in the ring. So we're going to have 8 double crochets, and then I'll show you how to finish up your last chain 5 space. Okay, we now have 8 double crochets in the ring. The first 3 chains of the first chain 8 counts as our first double crochet, so we're going to count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now for our last chain 5 space, we're going to work a chain 2 and double crochet at the top of the 3rd chain of the beginning chain. And that chain 2 and double crochet counts as our last chain 5 space, and also positions us into the top center of the chain 5 space. If we'd have just worked a chain 5 and slip stitched over here, we'd end up over here, and we wanted to end up in the center of the chain 5 space. So now we're going to start the next round. We're going to start with a chain 4. We're going to work a 3 treble cluster in that same space. So yarn over twice, insert your hook in the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We now have 2 loops on our hook. Yarn over twice, insert our hook in the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We now have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over twice, insert our hook in the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We now have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all 4. We're going to chain 7, and we're going to work a 4 treble cluster into the next chain 5 space. So yarn over twice, insert your hook in the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over twice, insert your hook in the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over twice, insert your hook in the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over twice, insert your hook in the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We now have 4 partially completed treble stitches, 5 loops on our hook, and we're ready to yarn over and pull through all of it. Now we have a 4 treble cluster completed. We're going to chain 7. Okay, and we're going to repeat that all the way around, and then at the end I'll show you how we replicate our chain 7 space with something special so we end up in the center of the chain space. Okay, we've now worked all the way around. We have 8 of our cluster stitches, and now to replace our last chain 7 space with a we're going to replace our last chain 7 space with a chain 4 and double crochet into the top of the first cluster at the beginning of the stitch. Actually, I'm going to do that differently. We're going to do a chain 3 and a treble. So chain 3, yarn over twice, insert your hook in the top of the first cluster, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, and through 2. There. Now we're in the center. Okay, so we're going to start with a chain 1 and single crochet in that same chain 7 space, chain 5. In our next chain 5 space, we're going to work a double crochet, chain 5. We're going to work a treble crochet, chain 5. We're going to work a second treble crochet, chain 5, and we're going to work another double crochet in that same chain 5 space, chain 5, and work a single crochet in the next chain 5 space. I'm going to set that down so you can see what we've done here. Okay, so we worked a single crochet in the first chain 7 space, chain 5, then we did double crochet, chain 5, treble crochet, chain 5, treble crochet, chain 5, and double crochet, all in the next chain 7 space, then chain 5, and then single crochet in the next chain 5 space. So of all the 8 chain 7 spaces, we're going to alternate single crochet in one, and then the double, treble, double, double, treble, treble, double in the next one. So it'll alternate between the single and the corner, and every stitch is separated by a chain 5 space. And at the end of the round, we'll replace our last chain 5 space with a chain 2 double crochet, so we end up in the middle of it, but I'll show you when we get there. So we're now on another corner. So we did a double crochet, chain 5, treble crochet, chain 5, treble crochet, whoops, chain 5, and double crochet, all in that same chain 7 space. And chain 5, and single crochet in the next chain 7 space. Chain 5. Okay, the next one is a corner again. We're going to do double, treble, treble, double, double crochet, chain 5, treble, chain 5, treble, chain 5, and double, all in that chain 7 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 5 space, chain 5, double crochet, chain 5. We're in our last corner, so it's double crochet, chain 5, treble crochet, chain 5, treble crochet, chain 5, double crochet, and then for our last chain 5 space, we're going to work a chain 2, and we're going to double crochet into the single crochet from the beginning of the round to join the round and to also position ourselves in the top center of that chain 5 space. So by working a chain 2 and double crochet, we have the equivalent of our chain 5 space, but with but we're now positioned in the center of it. So set that down so you can see what it looks like. We've really established 4 corners, so we've gone from a round motif to now really having a motif with 4 corners. Okay, the next round is really simple. We start the first scalloped petal in the center. We're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and we're going to work a double crochet, a half double crochet. Half double crochet is yarn over your hook, insert your hook in the space, yarn over, pull up a loop. We now have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and a single crochet in that same space. Okay, that's only half of our petal. We'll end up completing it. We're going to come around, do all of them fully, and then we'll finish the second half of this partially made one. It'll make more sense as we go along. Okay, so a full scalloped petal will be worked in the next chain 5 space, and that's a single crochet, a half double crochet, 3 double crochets, a half double crochet, and a single crochet. I'm going to set that down so you can see what it looks like. Okay, remember I said we did a partial one because we started in the center? Well, now we've done a full. So because of the size of the stitches, it goes from single crochet, half double, 3 doubles, half double, and single. So you get this nice scalloped petal look. And now this is exactly what we're going to do in every single chain 5 space all the way around. Every single one's going to be exactly the same until we get to the last one. Single crochet, half double crochet, 3 doubles, half double, and single. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around, and then I'll show you how to finish this one. Okay, we've worked that scallop all the way around in every single one of our chain 5 spaces, and we're now ready to complete the last scallop, which is also the one that we started at the beginning. So we're going to finish it up with a single crochet in that same chain 5 space, a half double crochet, and a double crochet. Then we're going to slip stitch to the top of the 3rd chain at the beginning of the round to join. We're going to chain 1 and single crochet in that very same space, and now we're ready to complete our last round or complete our first motif. Now the first motif does not get joined to anything because there's nothing else to join it to. So in this particular section I'm going to show you how to make it without joining it to anything else. So we're now going to chain 5, skip the next 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which will position us to single crochet into the top center of the next scallop. What we're going to be doing is working single crochets into the center stitch of each scallop, and if that's not easy for you to just quickly reference, it can be easier to count across. So we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and single crochet in the next one. Now this is what we're going to do for the sides of this square motif, but in the center of the corners we're going to do something just a little bit extra. So now we're in the center of a corner. I'll set it down so you can see that we're at the center of a corner, and we're going to do an additional chain 5 single crochet in that same spot. That's it. Corner complete. So now we'll chain 5, skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next, chain 5, skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next, chain 5, skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next, chain 5, skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next, chain 5, skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next. We're now at another corner, so we're going to chain 5, single crochet in the same stitch, chain 5, skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next. I'm going to set this down so you can see what we're doing, what it looks like. Okay, so we've done our final round from here, worked across to this corner, worked an additional chain 5 and single crochet in that corner. We worked across here, and we've done the same thing in this one. So now we're just going to repeat this all the way around, and our first motif will be complete. Okay, so we've made it all the way around the last round of the first motif, and we finish it up with a chain 5 and slip stitch to the first single crochet at the beginning of the round to join. Next up, I'll show you how to make one of these and join it on one side of a separate motif. And then after that, I'll show you how to join one and two sides, and that will be all you'll need to create these motifs. Okay, to join on one side, you want to complete all the interior rounds, and then on the final round, you want to work across around until you have 2 corners incomplete, because you're going to need 2 corners to join on one side of an additional motif. What we're going to do is join from this corner across to this corner. So we're going to replace our first chain 5 space in the corner with a chain 2, slip stitch into the third chain of the chain 5 space on the adjacent motif's corner, chain 2, and so that chain 2 slip stitch chain 2 counts as our chain 5 space. And now to finish our corner, we're going to work a single crochet in that very same stitch. Okay, now our next chain 5 space is going to be a chain 2, slip stitch into the adjacent chain 5 space on the opposite motif, chain 2, skip 6 stitches on our current motif and single crochet in the next. Chain 2, slip stitch into the adjacent motif's chain 5 space, chain 2, skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next. Chain 2, slip stitch into the adjacent motif's chain 5 space, chain 2, single crochet in the next, or skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next. Chain 2, slip stitch into the chain 5 space on the adjacent motif, chain 2, skip 6 stitches on our existing motif and single crochet in the next, chain 2, slip stitch into the next chain 5 space on the adjacent motif, chain 2, skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next. We're ready to do our corner, so it's chain 2, and now this is a corner that's already been joined to another corner, so you want to just make sure that you join in the exact same chain, and it'll just give you a really beautiful tight join. In the corners, I always like to join in the specific center chain, whereas on the sides they're only being joined once, so to just join in the chain 5 space is fine. Either way it works just fine. So we did a chain 2, we did chain 2, slip stitch, chain 2, single crochet in the same stitch, chain 5, skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next. We only had to join from corner to corner, so this side is just going to be completed as normal. Okay, so now I'll set this down so you can see what it looks like, and we have a motif that is joined on one side only. Now in the next segment I will show you how to join a motif along 2 sides. Okay, to join a motif along 2 sides of existing motifs, we want to make sure we have 3 corners that are unworked on that final round. All the interior rounds are done exactly the way they've been done before, but you want to make sure that you have 3 corners available for joining, because we're going to join from corner to corner to corner. So I'm at a corner here, and I've started, and I'm going to do a chain 2. And then we're going to join that chain 5 space by doing a chain 2, slip stitch into the center chain of the adjacent motif's chain 5 space corner, chain 2, and single crochet in that same stitch on our current motif. And I'll set that down so you can see we have our corner completed. Now we're going to work along the sides and replace our chain 5 spaces with chain 2, slip stitch into the adjacent motif's chain 5 space, and then single crochet where we're supposed to on our current motif. So we did a chain 2, slip stitch into the adjacent motif's next chain 5 space, chain 2. We're going to come back to our current motif, skip 6 stitches, and single crochet in the next, chain 2, slip stitch into the adjacent motif's next chain 5 space, chain 2, back on our current motif, skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next, chain 2, slip stitch into the next chain 5 space on the adjacent motif, chain 2, skip 6 stitches on our current motif and single crochet in the next, chain 2, slip stitch into the next chain 5 space on the adjacent motif, chain 2, skip 6 stitches on our current motif and single crochet in the next, chain 2, slip stitch into the next chain 5 space on the adjacent motif, chain 2, skip 6 stitches in our current motif and single crochet in the next. We're now ready to do our next corner, chain 2, and now this is a corner that's been joined 2 times prior, all into the same chain on that first motif. So you want to make sure you join in the very same chain to give a nice, tight, neat look in the corners. Slip stitch, chain 2, single crochet again in our same stitch to create the corner for this motif that we're working on, our current motif. And I'm going to set that down so you can see what it looks like. So now we've come across and we've worked from this corner to this corner and joined on the sides to this motif. Now to complete, we're going to work across and join to this motif along the sides and then in the corner, and then we'll finish it up here. So now we will chain 2, slip stitch into the adjacent motif's chain 5 space, chain 2, and then on our current motif, skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next, chain 2, slip stitch into the next chain 5 space on the adjacent motif, chain 2, skip 6 stitches in our current motif and single crochet in the next, chain 2, skip 6 stitches, slip stitches in the next chain 5 space on the adjacent motif, chain 2, skip 6 stitches on our current motif and single crochet in the next, chain 2, slip stitch into the next chain 5 space on the adjacent motif, chain 2, skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next, chain 2, slip stitch into the next chain 5 space on the adjacent motif, chain 2, skip 6 stitches and single crochet in the next. We're now at our corner. We're going to chain 2. We're going to slip stitch into the third chain of the chain 5 space on the adjacent motif's corner chain 5 space, chain 2, single crochet in the same stitch on our existing motif, and I'll show you what this looks like now. So now we started this round here, we worked across, did this corner, worked across here, and then we started joining. We did a 2-sided join from this corner to this corner to this corner, and now we're going to finish up the end of our round and be done with a 2-sided joined motif, which is a chain 5, skip 6 stitches, single crochet in the next, chain 5, skip 6 stitches and slip stitch to the first double crochet at the beginning of first single crochet at the beginning of the round to join. We will fasten off, and there we have it. We have a crochet motif that we've shown you how to do all the rounds singularly on its own, showed you how to join it to one side and then how to join it to 2 sides. If you would like the line-by-line instructions, please visit my website. The link is below in the video description, and please subscribe to my channel for more videos. Okay, next up we're going to be making the components of the bag, and you want to do these in the same order that I'm doing them in. We're going to do the top panel first, then we're going to do the bottom panel, and then we'll do the sides, and when we do the sides we'll be doing one side, the strap, and the other side all at the same time, and then after that I'll show you how to join the whole thing together. So let's get started. You want to Tie your yarn onto your hook again in whichever way you prefer. And we're going to join in any corner chain 5 space. Okay, so we'll start with this one here, and we're going to slip stitch to join, chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and we're going to work 3 half double crochets in that corner chain 5 space. So yarn over your hook, insert your hook in the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Do that again. Okay, now we have 3 half double crochets in that corner. In each of the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain 5 spaces, we're going to work 5 half double crochets. And then we'll do something a little different in the corner, but let's do that. Let's do the first part first. So we're going to yarn over our hook, insert it in the next chain 5 space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Half double crochet. We're going to do 4 more in that same chain 5 space. Okay, and we'll do that in each of these chain 5 spaces until we get to the corner. Okay, now we've reached the corner of this motif, or the joining section between the 2 motifs, and we're going to work 2 half double crochets into this side of the join, which is a chain 5 space that was joined in the center, one half double crochet over the join, and then 2 half double crochets in the other motif's chain 5 corner. So we'll do 2 half double crochets in the first corner, 1 over the join between the 2 motifs, and 2 more in the next motif's corner. Okay, and now for the second half of the top panel, or the second motif, we're going to work 5 half double crochets in each of those chain 5 spaces, and then 3 in the last corner. Okay, so now we have the first row complete for the top panel, and now the rest of the top panel is done exactly the same way for all the rest of the rows. We're going to start with a chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and we're going to work a half double crochet in each stitch across. So that's what we do for row 2, and that's also what we're going to do for rows 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you want to repeat chain 1, doesn't count as a stitch, half double crochet in each stitch across for rows 2 through 6, fasten off, and weave in your loose end at this point if you'd like to. Okay, all 6 rows of the top panel are complete. You want to flip it all the way around so that you're doing the bottom panel on the opposite side of the squares. Remember, these are going to be the sides. You want to make sure you're working on the opposite side of the top for the bottom. So you're going to join with a slip stitch in the very first corner on the edge. And we're going to do this exactly the same way we did the top panel. The only difference is that we're going to work 12 rows instead of 6. Okay, so we're going to start in the middle of the base panel, and we're going to skip the first 6 end of rows, and you want to slip stitch into the 7th. So it's, whether you count from the end or the beginning, it doesn't matter. What you want to do is be working in these 6 rows and skipping these 6 rows. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. And we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each end of row. So we're going to slip stitch to join, chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and we're going to work a half double crochet into that end of row. And we'll do that in the next end of row, and the next one, and the next one, and each of the last 2. So we want to have a total of 6 half double crochets, 1 each for those 6 rows. And then now we've come to our corner stitch, our corner chain 5 space. We're going to work 2 half double crochets into that chain 5 space corner of the first motif. Get my yarn in the right place here. Here we go. And now we're going to work the side of the motifs the same as we did the top and bottom. We're going to work 5 half double crochets in each chain 5 space. Oops, let me get that tightened up. Okay, just like we did on the top and bottom panels, we're going to work 2 half double crochets in the joining corner of one of the motifs. We're going to work 1 half double crochet over the join and 2 half double crochets in the next motif's corner chain 5 space, like that. Then we're going to continue on and do our 5 double crochets in each of the next chain 5 spaces. Okay, we've made it to the top panel now. We're going to work 2 half double crochets in the last corner of the motif, and then we're going to work 1 half double crochet into the end of all 6 of these rows. So each row gets 1 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so now it's time to create the strap. What we've done is worked across one whole entire length of the bag, skipping the first 6 rows of the bottom base and then working across here. We're now going to create the strap, then skip the top panel and work exactly the same way down the other side of the bag. So to create a longer strap, which is what I wanted for this bag so that it could go cross body, I'm going to chain 120. Okay, I've got 120 chains done. Being careful not to twist your chain, you want to then come over here to the other side of the top panel and work 1 half double crochet into each of the 6 end of rows. Okay, the 6 end of rows are completed, and now we're going to work the same exact way as we did the other side panel, making sure that we skip the last 6 rows of the bottom base. Row 2 began the same way as row 2 began on the top and base panel. We started with a chain 1 that doesn't count as a stitch and half double crochet in each stitch across until we get to the chain 120 strap. And what you want to do here is work 1 half double crochet in each chain across. So we're just going to insert our crochet hook into each chain individually to work our half double crochet. So it's yarn over your hook, insert your hook in the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You want to do that for all of the chains singularly, and then half double crochet in the rest of the row. Now that all 6 rows are done on the side panels with the strap, you can start to see the bottom finish. See how there's a square that looks like it's cut out from here? This is done on purpose so that we can create a flat bottom bag, and that will make more sense when I show you how we assemble it. But to start, we're going to assemble the 2 pieces of the bag. We've got our front and back now, and I'm just going to sandwich one right over the other. And we're going to slip stitch both thicknesses together along the entire side, strap, and second side. Then after that, we'll do the same thing to the bottom, and then I'll show you how to do the flat bottom finish. I didn't fasten off at the end of my the second piece of the bag's side panels so that I could easily just finish joining the 2 pieces together without having to have another end to weave in. So I left it on, and I'm just going to Sandwich the two fabrics together now. And we're going to slip stitch into each of the two fabrics together in each stitch across. So I've got the first stitch in both pieces, and I'm just going to slip stitch through both of them. Then I'll go to the next stitch on both fabrics and slip stitch through both of them. And we're going to repeat this across the side panel, through the strap, and through the opposite side panel. And at that point, you'll want to fasten this piece off. Okay, now we have the bottom seam completed, and now remember those little cutouts at the side? Well, now we want to sew those together as well, but we want to work them on in the opposite direction. So you want to open up the bag with the right or the front and back sides to the right and left of you, lining up the bottom seam and the side seam like that, and then we sew across here, or we could slip stitch as well. Let's see, how is that going to, let's see. I'm going to slip stitch it just like these two seams. So we're going to line those up like that, where we've got our side seam right on top of our bottom seam. And then we'll grab our yarn and slip stitch across through both thicknesses, just like we did the other seams. Okay, so double check that we're lined up, seam on top of seam down the center, and we'll start at the edge and slip stitch through both fabrics, and then we'll slip stitch across. Now there aren't stitches here, there are ends of rows here, so you're going to slip stitch through each end of row through both thicknesses. And it's really important that we line up those seams perfectly when we get there to the center. Okay, we're almost to the center. I want to make sure they're exactly on top of each other. So we'll do one stitch before the seams, one stitch over the seams, and I'm going to do each one individually. There we go, and get through both of them just so they're exactly identical. And then we'll go through each end of row through both thicknesses until we get to the other side of the hole. So we're closing up that little square hole at the bottom of the bag, and this is what creates our gorgeous flat bottom on the bag. Okay, so there we have the flat bottom. So you can see that this one comes to the side is flat now, so it'll lay flat on the bottom like that. Pretty cool, huh? So we'll repeat that for the other side, and then we'll start weaving in all these crazy ends. Okay, I sewed the other side's flat bottom corner, so now you can see there is the bottom of the bag. So that's how big the flat bottom will become on the bag. So when you stand it up, and if we open it up, you can probably see in there as well. Once I stuff it, I'll show you photos of what it looks like, but the bottom is going to lay flat like that. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos.